The sun was a weary orange disk sinking below the horizon, casting long skeletal shadows across the dusty, forgotten stretch of highway. Miles from the nearest town, the silence was broken only by the chirping of crickets and the occasional distant howl of a coyote. Ethan Miller wiped a greasy hand across his brow, leaving a smudge on his already oil-stained face. He leaned back from beneath the hood of his battered but beloved pickup truck, a sigh escaping his lips. A loose connection in the alternator. A simple fix for someone with his mechanical aptitude. But it had taken longer than he'd anticipated. He was tired, hungry, and eager to get home to his small, cluttered garage workshop. His sanctuary from the world. Just as he was about to lower the hood, a flicker of headlights appeared in his rearview mirror. A large, dark pickup truck, newer and far more imposing than his own, slowly rolled to a stop a few yards behind him. Ethan's hand instinctively went to the wrench on his toolbox. He lived in a quiet, rural area, but isolated stretches of road could be unpredictable. The driver's side door opened, and a man emerged. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a presence that seemed to fill the already vast landscape. His clothes, though simple, looked expensive, and his posture exuded an air of quiet authority. He approached Ethan cautiously, his gaze assessing. "Evening," the man said, his voice a low rumble, surprisingly calm. "Looks like you're having some trouble." Ethan nodded, relaxing slightly. The man didn't seem threatening, just observant. Just a minor hiccup. Almost done. "Mind if I take a look?" The stranger offered, gesturing towards the open hood. "I know a thing or two about engines." Ethan hesitated. He was a proud man, used to handling his own problems. But something in the stranger's eyes, a genuine concern, made him relent. "Sure. Knock yourself out." Alternator connection was loose. The man peered into the engine bay, his brow furrowing in concentration. He studied, his eyes moving with practiced ease over the intricate machinery. Good eye. Looks like you've got it mostly sorted. Just need to tighten that terminal properly." He reached in, his large hands surprisingly nimble, and gave a specific connection a firm twist. "There. That should hold." Ethan tried the ignition. The engine roared to life with a healthy purr. He grinned, genuinely relieved.
"Well, I'll be..."
"Thanks, mister. Saved me some extra time." The man nodded, a faint smile touching his lips. "No problem at all. Glad to help." He extended a hand. "Name's Arthur Vance." "Ethan Miller," Ethan replied, shaking Arthur's hand. Arthur's grip was firm, calloused, like a man who worked with his hands, despite his expensive attire. "You're a mechanic, Ethan?" Arthur asked, his gaze still lingering on Ethan's toolbox. "Self-taught." "Mostly," Ethan admitted, a touch of pride in his voice. "Run a small repair shop out of my garage. Been doing it for years." Arthur's eyes seemed to gleam with an unreadable intensity. A man who fixes things. Not many left who truly understand the mechanics of the world, rather than just replacing parts. He paused, then gestured to his own truck. Funny you mention fixing things. My own truck's been acting up. A strange knocking sound, only when I hit about 60 miles an hour. Been to 3 different places, and no one can figure it out. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Knocking at 60. Huh. Could be a lot of things. Transmission, drive shaft, even a loose exhaust shield. Hard to say without hearing it. Would you be willing to take a look? Arthur asked, his tone casual, yet with an underlying seriousness. I'd pay you, of course. Handsomely, Ethan shrugged. I'm not exactly set up for roadside diagnostics, but if you want to swing by my place tomorrow, I can give it a listen. He pulled out a worn business card from his wallet and handed it to Arthur. It's just a home shop, nothing fancy. Arthur took the card, his fingers brushing against Ethan's. Ethan Miller. Auto repair and fabrication. I like the sound of that. And the no charge for a quick look is a rare commodity these days. He tucked the card into his wallet with a deliberate motion. I appreciate it, Ethan. I'll be there first thing in the morning. Sounds good, Ethan said, a little surprised by the man's earnestness. He watched as Arthur climbed back into his sleek black truck, the powerful engine rumbling to life. With a final nod, Arthur drove off, disappearing into the deepening twilight. Ethan finished packing up his tools, a strange feeling settling in his gut. There was something about Arthur Vance, something beyond the expensive truck and the quiet authority. Significance. He shook his head. Probably just a wealthy city slicker passing through, grateful for a bit of help. He climbed into his own truck and headed home. The next morning, Ethan was up before dawn. The familiar scent of oil and metal. He was tinkering with an old carburetor, his mind half on the task, half on Arthur Vance and his mysterious knocking truck. He expected a call, perhaps, or a visit sometime mid-morning. He was pouring himself a second cup of lukewarm coffee when he heard it. The distinct, powerful hum of multiple large engines. It wasn't just one truck, it was several. He walked to the window, peering through the dusty panes. His jaw dropped. Parked in a neat, intimidating line outside his modest, rural home were 3 sleek black SUVs. They were the kind of vehicles you saw in movies, with tinted windows and an aura of serious, unspoken power. And standing beside the lead SUV, his back to Ethan, was Arthur Vance. Ethan's heart began to pound. This wasn't just a wealthy city slicker. This was something else entirely. He felt a prickle of fear, mixed with a surge of adrenaline. What had he gotten himself into? He cautiously opened the garage door, stepping out into the crisp morning air. Arthur turned a faint smile on his face, but his eyes, now visible in the morning light, held an intensity that was almost unnerving. "Morning, Ethan," Arthur said, his voice as calm as ever. "Mr. Vance," Ethan replied, his voice a little hoarse. He gestured to the SUVs. Is everything all right? This is quite the entourage." Arthur chuckled. A low, dry sound. "Everything is perfectly all right, Ethan. In fact, it's better than all right. These gentlemen are my security detail. I apologize for the dramatic entrance. It's necessary." He paused, then his gaze softened slightly. "You see, Ethan, I didn't tell you the whole truth last night. I am Arthur Vance, but I am also the CEO of Vance Global Industries." Ethan's eyes widened. Vance Global Industries. The name was synonymous with innovation, with cutting-edge technology. With a global empire that touched every facet of modern life. It was a name whispered in boardrooms and revered. He had heard of it. Of course, everyone had. But he had never imagined himself standing face to face with its elusive founder. "I don't understand," Ethan stammered, his mind racing, trying to reconcile the humble mechanic he thought he was with the titan of industry standing before him. "Last night," Arthur continued, his voice taking on a more serious tone, "I wasn't just having truck trouble. My vehicle had been tampered with. I was being followed. And you, Ethan, without knowing any of it, without asking for anything in return, simply stopped to help a stranger. You fixed my truck. You offered your time, your expertise, your kindness." He stepped closer, his gaze unwavering. "In my world, Ethan, genuine acts of kindness without expectation of reward. People are always looking for an angle, a way to benefit. You, however, simply saw a man in need and offered a hand. That, Ethan, is a quality I value above all else." Ethan swallowed hard, the implications of Arthur's words slowly sinking in. He hadn't just fixed a truck. He had unknowingly helped the most powerful man he'd ever met, potentially saving him from. He didn't dare ask. I just did what anyone would do," Ethan mumbled, feeling a blush creep up his neck. Arthur shook his head. "No, Ethan. Not everyone. Not in my experience. And because of that, I want to offer you something. Something substantial." Ethan braced himself. Money. A large sum, no doubt. He was a simple man, but he wasn't greedy. He valued his independence, his quiet life. "I'm not looking for a reward, Mr. Vance," Ethan said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Well, because it's the right thing to do." Arthur's smile widened, a genuine warmth now radiating from him. "I know that, Ethan. And that's precisely why I'm here. I'm not offering you a reward. I'm offering you an opportunity. An opportunity to do what you love, on a scale you've never imagined." He paused. Vance Global Industries is expanding its research and development division. We're building a new state-of-the-art facility, focusing on sustainable energy, advanced robotics, and, yes, even cutting-edge automotive technology. We need people who are not just brilliant, but who possess integrity, a hands-on, and a genuine passion for innovation. People like you, Ethan. Ethan stared. A job at Vance Global Industries? It was beyond anything he could have ever dreamed. His small garage shop, his simple life, suddenly seemed infinitesimally small in comparison to the vast me, Ethan finally managed to croak. But I'm just a backyard mechanic. I don't have a fancy degree, no corporate experience. You have something far more valuable, Ethan, Arthur interrupted, his voice firm. You have a natural talent, an intuitive understanding of how things work, and a character that is beyond reproach. We can teach you the corporate side. We can give you the resources. What we can't teach is that innate ability, that genuine desire to help, that honesty. He gestured towards the black SUVs. My team has been looking into you, Ethan, since last night. Not in a malicious way, I assure you. We needed to verify your character. We found a man who helps his neighbors, who volunteers at the local community center, who often fixes cars for those who can't afford it, sometimes for free. A man who is respected and trusted in his community. That, Ethan, is the kind of person I want working for me. The kind of person I want leading our new initiatives. Ethan was speechless. His simple acts of kindness, his quiet life, had been observed, evaluated, and deemed worthy. It was overwhelming, almost unbelievable. I want you to head our new automotive innovation lab, Arthur stated, his voice now filled with a quiet conviction. You'll have a team, unlimited resources, and the freedom to pursue your ideas. We're talking about developing the next generation of electric vehicles, autonomous systems, sustainable transport solutions. All the things you probably dream about in your garage, but never had the means to pursue. He extended his hand again, this time not for a handshake, but as an invitation. What do you say, Ethan? Are you ready to fix the world, one innovation at a time? Ethan looked at the imposing SUVs, then at Arthur Vance, the man who had appeared out of the darkness and offered him a destiny he never imagined. He thought of his dusty garage, his worn tools, the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. And then he thought of the knocking sound in Arthur's truck, the challenge of it, the endless possibilities of a problem waiting to be solved. A slow smile spread across Ethan's face. Mr. Vance, he said, his voice regaining its usual steady tone. I think I'm ready to fix a few more things. The transition was, predictably, a whirlwind. Ethan went from the solitude of his garage to the bustling, high-tech world of Vance Global Industries. He traded his oil-stained overalls for crisp business casual, his wrench for a tablet that controlled multi-million-dollar machinery. The initial days were a blur of meetings, introductions, and a crash course in corporate structure. He learned that Arthur Vance was even more formidable than he had imagined. A man of immense vision. Arthur had built his empire not just on technological prowess, but on a foundation of integrity. He saw in Ethan not just a mechanic, but a raw, untapped genius. A man whose practical understanding of mechanics was a perfect complement to the theoretical brilliance of his engineers. Ethan's team, initially skeptical of the backyard mechanic, who had been handpicked by the founder, quickly came to respect him. His hands-on approach, his ability to diagnose complex problems with an almost intuitive understanding, and his genuine humility won them over. He wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, to spend hours on the shop floor, explaining concepts with simple, clear analogies that even the most theoretical engineers could grasp. He fostered a culture of collaboration, of open communication, where every idea was valued. Under Ethan's leadership, the Automotive Innovation Lab thrived. They developed groundbreaking battery technology that revolutionized electric vehicle range. They designed autonomous systems that were not just efficient, but instinctively safe. Their sustainable transport solutions earned global acclaim, transforming urban landscapes and reducing carbon footprints. Ethan, once content with fixing individual vehicles, was now instrumental in shaping the future of transportation. He still drove his old pickup truck on weekends, still tinkered in his home garage, a reminder of where he came from. But his weekdays were spent leading a team of brilliant minds, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. All thanks to a chance encounter on a deserted highway and a simple act of kindness. Years passed. Ethan Miller, the backyard mechanic, was now a celebrated figure in the tech world. A visionary leader whose name was spoken with the same reverence as Arthur Vance's. He had given numerous keynote speeches, his down-to-earth wisdom resonating with audiences worldwide. He had overseen the launch of several revolutionary products, each bearing the hallmark of his practical genius and his unwavering commitment to sustainability. One crisp autumn morning, Ethan stood on the sprawling grounds of Vance Global Industries' new research campus, a monument to innovation that he had helped design. He watched as a new fleet. A hand clapped him on the shoulder. He turned to see Arthur Vance, his silver hair a little thinner, but his eyes still sharp and full of life. "They're beautiful, aren't they, Ethan?" Arthur said, a profound satisfaction in his voice. "They are, Mr. Vance," Ethan replied, a genuine smile on his face. "We did good." "We did," Arthur agreed, then turned to face Ethan fully. "You know, Ethan, it wasn't just my truck that was broken. I was disillusioned. With the world, with people. I had seen too much greed, too much self-interest. You restored my faith. You reminded me that genuine kindness still exists, even in the most unexpected places." Ethan nodded, remembering the fear, the confusion, and then the overwhelming gratitude he had felt that morning when the 3 black SUVs had surrounded his house. It had been a terrifying, yet ultimately transformative experience. "You took a chance on me, Mr. Vance," Ethan said, his voice sincere. "A big chance. And it paid off, didn't it?" Arthur chuckled. "More than I could have ever imagined. You didn't just fix my truck that night, Ethan. You helped me fix my company. You helped me build a legacy based on something more than just profit. You helped me build a better future." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, 2 men from vastly different worlds, united by a shared vision. The sun, now a brilliant golden orb, climbed higher in the sky, illuminating the gleaming surfaces of the innovative vehicles, the sprawling campus, and the faces of the 2 men who had, in their own unique ways. Ethan knew that his journey was far from over. There were always more problems to solve, more innovations to pursue, more ways to make a difference. And it all began with a broken truck, a stranger's kindness, and the unexpected arrival of 3 black SUVs on a quiet morning. It was a testament to the idea that the smallest act of compassion could ripple outwards, creating a wave of change that transformed not just individual lives, but the very fabric of the world.